Imagine waking up tomorrow, and the world has stopped. No wind, no rotation, no sunrise. The Earth, motionless, suspended in space, its 1,670-kilometer-per-hour spin brought to an impossible halt. What happens next is the end of the world as we know it. For billions of years, our planet has been spinning steadily, rotating once every 24 hours. That gentle motion creates day and night, drives our weather, and keeps everything in delicate balance. But if that stopped, even for a moment, the results would be catastrophic. Let's start with the very first second after the Earth stops spinning. Everything not anchored to bedrock, oceans, atmosphere, cities, even you, would keep moving at the Earth's former speed. At the equator, that's faster than a speeding bullet. Cars, trees, and entire buildings would be ripped from their foundations. A global hurricane of unimaginable force would sweep across continents. The ground beneath you might feel still, but the air above you would become a weapon. Within moments, coastal regions would face devastation. The oceans, once kept in motion by the planet's rotation, would surge violently toward the poles. Massive walls of water, thousands of meters high, would swallow entire countries, dragging debris, soil, and human civilization into the sea. The familiar blue planet would turn into a muddy, chaotic sphere of displaced oceans and shattered coastlines. And then comes the darkness. Because the Earth no longer spins, one side would be locked facing the sun, while the other would be cast into eternal night. The sunlit half would burn beneath relentless heat, temperatures soaring above 100 degrees Celsius, oceans boiling, atmosphere evaporating. On the dark side, the world would freeze solid. Temperatures would plummet far below 100 degrees Celsius. Cities would become glaciers. Forests would crystallize into silent ice tombs. Humans, if any survived the first impact, would be forced to migrate toward the twilight zone, the thin border between scorching day and freezing night. Here, in perpetual dusk, life might cling on, but it would be a fragile existence. Food chains would collapse, agriculture would fail, and ecosystems would break apart. Without the planet's rotation, the magnetic field that shields us from cosmic radiation would begin to fade. The solar wind would strip away our atmosphere, and slowly the Earth would become another barren world, lifeless, airless, exposed to the cold of space. But to understand this horror, we have to ask, why does the Earth spin at all? 4.5 billion years ago, our planet was born in chaos, a molten sphere colliding with asteroids and protoplanets. One of those collisions gave it a powerful spin, a leftover momentum from its violent birth. And it's that spin that defines our rhythm. The rising and setting of the sun, the pull of the tides, the invisible forces that shape our lives. Without it, even gravity behaves differently. The planet would no longer bulge at the equator. Oceans would redistribute toward the poles, creating two massive superoceans. Continents like Africa and South America would drown, while others might emerge from beneath the seas. The very shape of Earth would change. Days would no longer exist. A year would still pass as the planet continued its orbit around the sun, but one side would endure constant daylight, while the other remained in eternal darkness. Weather systems would die. Winds would cease. The silence of a non-rotating Earth would be absolute. And that silence would be terrifying. Now imagine how humanity would respond. Governments would collapse within days. Communications would fail. Those on the light side would flee westward, chasing the shrinking edge of twilight. Those in darkness would head east, seeking warmth that never comes. Survival would depend on technology. Massive domed habitats powered by geothermal energy, artificial light, and heat. But no machine could restore balance to a world that no longer turns. Plants would struggle first. Without rotation, the cycles of night and day, the triggers for growth, rest, and photosynthesis, would vanish. Oxygen levels would fall. Animals would follow. Eventually, humans would face starvation. The last survivors would live underground or within giant shelters along the dusk line, half-lit cities under an eternal sunset. There they might watch the frozen stars overhead, wondering what the world once looked like when it was alive. It's easy to forget that everything we know, our weather, Our tides, even the simple passing of time, depends on motion. The Earth's spin is not just a background feature. It is the heartbeat of the planet. Some scientists believe that over billions of years, the Earth's rotation is slowing down by about 1.7 milliseconds per century. It's a tiny change, almost invisible. But it's a reminder, nothing lasts forever. One day, long after humanity is gone, the Earth will finally stop turning. The moon's gravitational pull will have drained away its last momentum. And when that day comes, the world will fall silent, not in an instant, but gradually, like a music box winding down. So what if the Earth stopped spinning tomorrow? It would mean the end of everything familiar, the collapse of physics as we live it. But it would also remind us of something profound, that motion itself is life, that every sunrise, every wave, every breeze is a sign that our planet is still alive. So tonight, when you watch the stars drift slowly across the sky, remember they move because we move. And as long as the Earth keeps turning, so does our story. But tell me this, if one day the world truly did stop, where would you choose to stand, in the light or in the dark?